Hey guys, J-Man here for another comic book review. Nemesis Reloaded. Number 3. My hand is covering it. There it is, number 3. 3. Okay, so let's talk about this. I am not a Mark Millar fan. Or Mark Miller. I don't know exactly if you say Miller or Millar. Because I'm not a fan. because I'm not a fan. Yeah. I know this guy's pretty hype, but it just wasn't happening for me. If you watched my other videos, you know that I picked up Nemesis Reloaded number 1. Not on the first day, not on the second day, not on the third, not on the fourth. It was on the weekend or whatever. I don't know when it came out, so let's say on the Saturday. I woke up Saturday morning of the release of issue 1 of Reloaded, and I said to myself, I'm going to buy Nemesis Reloaded. Then I said to myself, are you stupid? You don't like Mark Millar. Then I said, I know. But I got a feeling, right? And then they're like, yeah, but you didn't buy the first Nemesis. There's probably like hundreds of issues of the first Nemesis. This is Reloaded. You didn't buy any of those. Then I said, correct, I didn't buy any of those. But then I Googled it and there was only like 4. Was it 4 or 5? I own them all now. So then I said, well, there's only a few issues of the first Nemesis, so you can probably buy them all right now on eBay. Then I checked eBay and bought them all, first printing of all of them. Then I read those comics and I thought, well, this was just a masterpiece, wasn't it? I'm like, what happened? Mark Millar released a masterpiece and he didn't tell me. He just released it. So then I said, well, let's get Nemesis Reloaded. And oh yeah, it's a masterpiece. So let's talk about issue 3. I review all my comics using my space system. Story, pacing, artistry, characters, enjoyment. Each category gets a score between 0 to 2. 2 is the best, 0 is the worst. If a comic book gets a 1 on every category, you get 5 out of 10. 5 out of 10 or 6 out of 10 means the comic was okay. So you add up all your scores from the categories. That's how you get your final out of 10 rating. I review every comic based on itself. So this comic is not being ranked against Superman Lost. He really did lose in that comic. Well, more like the audience lost in that comic. I'm not ranking this against Gunslinger, which if you just saw my earlier video, I gave a 10 out of 10 because I love Gunslinger and I'm a simp for Gunslinger Spawn. I don't even really know what that actually means. I'm too old for these new terms. But yeah, so and again, if I give a score in a category of perfect, let's say I gave the artistry 2 out of 2, or let's say I give the story 2 out of 2. I'm not saying that the storyline of this is better than Watchmen or something, right? Like Watchmen's 10 out of 10. I'm not comparing this to Watchmen. I'm comparing this to itself and the other Nemesis series and what came before. So you're paying $3.99 for this comic. How much value are you getting for your $3.99? That's kind of what I'm ranking it as. So let's talk about the story here. So Nemesis, this is a complete reboot, I suppose, or relaunch or whatever. So Nemesis here is a bad guy. If you don't know who he is, he's a bad guy, a super bad guy. The easiest way to explain it, and it's not exactly this, but it's the easiest way to explain it, is to say that he's sort of like Batman, but if it was the Joker. So if the Joker was Batman, so he was really sophisticated, smart, intelligent, calculating, planning ahead, resourceful, but he was a crazy villain who just wanted to like hurt people and kill everybody. So that's what Nemesis is. It's definitely not for everyone. It's not your general superhero stuff. And Mark Millar usually doesn't write superhero stuff, to my knowledge. There might be something out there that is more traditional superhero stuff. I guess Kick-Ass can somewhat be close to that. And I'm going to say I like Kick-Ass. Let's put it that way. I don't love Kick-Ass. I didn't like Wanted as an example. I do like Red Sun, Superman Red Sun. That's okay. But I think that's pretty much it for the ones that I like. And I didn't even buy Kick-Ass. I got that on digital. I did buy Red Sun because it's Superman and he's my favorite character. But, and Nemesis now. So those are my favorites of his. Storyline here. Okay, so Nemesis is just basically fighting the city. He's basically, he targets a city and he's like, okay, I'm going to destroy the police chief. I'm going to, go crazy. So in the first issue, basically Nemesis was like, I'm going to give 10 grand to anybody who just kills any police officer. So that caused panic and riots and all this stuff. And he's just causing more and more damage. The mayor's going crazy. It's basically a revenge plot. Now, that was also very similar to the first Nemesis series. This Nemesis series adds more because you get to see a bit more of his actual background. They did have a little bit of a backstory in the first Nemesis, but there was a bit of a red herring to that as well. So, yeah, I won't talk more about that. But this comic, the storyline, I'm going to give it a 2 out of 2 because I'm absolutely loving this storyline. I'm finding this to be very exciting. I feel that if they turned this into a television series and really adapted it, I'm not talking about this bullshit where they say, let's make a TV show, and then that show has nothing to do with, what the comics were. She-Hulk, or Moon Knight or whatever, it's like, Moon Knight was an exciting comic. Why was the show so boring? If they actually took I would be totally cool if they did the first Nemesis. If they actually take it and actually bring this to the screen, like 300, right? Like the movie 300, that was like bringing that comic into the real world. If they literally adapted this and made it 2 episodes or like 1 episode of an issue, or maybe 2 episodes an issue, and do a mini series. Remember when there's a thing called mini series? Don't make this 14 episodes. You know what I'm saying? Make this issue could be 2 episodes, right? Like just put it in half. And it's like, there's your 40-minute or 45-minute, there's your 45, that's it. So it'll be like 8 or 9 episodes total. That's it. Mini series. That if they adapted it perfectly, it would just be bloody amazing. I'm going to give the pacing, I'm giving it a 2 out of 2 because to me, this comic, there is talking and backstory, but it's very interesting. And that's the thing with pacing. It goes so close. It's so tied in with the story. If the story is good and it's engaging, the pacing can be a little slower. When I'm talking about pacing, I'm not talking about, is this fast paced? I'm talking about, does the pacing match the story of what I'm getting? Like, so for example, the Superman Lost storyline was taking so long to go anywhere, right? And that was only issue 1, and they were just doing random nothingness, like nothing was happening. A lot's going on here, so it's a little bit slower, but there's a lot to talk about. So I feel that there's like a full story being told here. And yeah, okay, let's talk about the artistry. Jorge Jimenez, so I believe that's how you pronounce his name. I mean, it's awesome. Okay, it's 2 out of 2. Let's look at how cool some of this shit is. Look at that. This is the first page. I mean, it's the first page, and like Nemesis is like falling off of a building here with this cop, and then he grapples her like Batman. That's the first page. You haven't even done anything. You're like, holy shit. Okay, but the art is great. The action is awesome. Let's find some other good stuff. I love the way the water is realized here. Oh, I love this. I like when there's a confidence where the character is just, sitting there. Nemesis, he's a badass guy. He's just like, look, I've got this, and I'm not even scared. I'm sitting like relaxed here. And I really believe that the art, like, oh man, look how awesome this is. The art is so good in this, and just the way that I don't want to say cartooning, like cartooning is the skill. It makes it sound like it's like not great art, but it is. It's a difficult skill. I love stuff like this too. Like that's really nicely done. Good coloring too. I like the colors on here. You see the anguish in the faces here, and look at him. He's like such an arrogant bastard. Really great job on the art. Characters are 2 out of 2. I'm gonna give this a 10 out of 10. By the way, spoilers. Characters are so good here. Well, maybe not. You know what? Maybe not. I'm going to give this a 1 out of 2 on characters. Sorry about that. The reason is that I don't feel that the good guys, like the chief of police and the mayor, I don't think they've been realized as good right now. Nemesis is awesome. And I think that's why I got a little bit excited and said, no, not every character in this comic is fully realized. So I'm going to give this a 9 out of 10, a 9 out of 10. It's just, yeah, he is so amazing. I love like the look here of this guy. There's something so cool with this here. And I looked at this page and I read it and I didn't notice something. And now going back through for this review right at this moment, I noticed something that I didn't notice before in the art. And the details are amazing. And there's a reveal on the next page, which I'm not going to show you. The last page is so cool, like with the way Nemesis is drawn. I kind of don't want to show you because it is the last page. And I don't like showing the last page. Like this just came out today, right? Yeah, this came out today. So, yeah, man, I love Nemesis. I think it's great. If you're looking for non-superhero stuff, normally I'm a superhero guy. That's my thing. I don't really go out looking for other stuff. I do like a lot of barbarian things, so I've been reading Dawn Attack and Death Dealer, and I did pick up Barbarians #1. I didn't get #2. I did pick up the He-Man Masterverse #2, but it doesn't look like it's going to be something I'm going to enjoy. But I'm willing to try other comics out, not just superhero stuff. But if you can grab, this is superhero-ish, but it's the villain. And again, I'm not really a villain guy. Like the Joker series was a pretty good series. I read the first series. I don't know if it's continuing on or whatever. And I stopped after about 10 issues or something. It was pretty good, but I felt that it wasn't going anywhere. But I think doing these as like mini series and just doing them in blocks, I think that's way better for a villain storyline. I think it just makes more sense that way. Like you can't follow Nemesis forever. You know what I mean? But yeah, guys, if they adapted this as a film or a mini series, I think it'd be very successful, and I think it'd be a really cool looking Nemesis. I'm waiting for some figures or statues or something of this character. I know he's all white, but that kind of makes him even more sinister to me. Like, look, this just looks scarier to me. It's like like Fu Manchu is a great example. Fantomas, I don't know if anyone knows Fantomas out there, or Diabolic. Who's the Italian character? He's all black with like the eyes. Even Fantomex, Fantomex from X-Men. He's sort of loosely based on some of these characters like Diabolic and stuff. But I think he'd look really cool. Very good, simple design, all white. I think it'd be a really cool statue. Or if they did a live action adaptation miniseries, would be great. But that's my thoughts on Nemesis Reloaded issue 3. It's a great series, guys. Pick this sucker up. Pick this up. If you did pick it up, let me know what your thoughts are. Am I wrong about Mark Miller? Okay, am I wrong? Maybe I'm wrong. It's possible. It's happened. It did happen once, only one time I was wrong. So let me know in the comments if I should be checking out more of his work. There is a Millerverse or something that's starting up, I think, this year. I am going to get it based off of the strength of Nemesis. So if the rest of the stuff that comes out is as strong as Nemesis, then I think I will become more of a fan. But Nemesis is definitely the best for me that I've read so far. Easy. So that's it, guys. All right. Until next time.